Welcome to the Healthy Lifestyle Show podcast. Our podcast is all about eating healthy, being active, and living a healthy lifestyle. We believe living healthy should be easy. That's why we have a free ebook at healthylifestyleformula.com, which can help you start your healthy lifestyle journey in easy-to-follow steps. Let's jump into this week's podcast topic and welcome our guest. Welcome, Jay. It's good to have you back again.
Thank you, and it's always good to be back. I love sharing the information, and I'm always looking forward to share more and more in these podcasts.
Excellent. Well, we had that introduction last week to the art of eating healthy.
Yes.
What are we going to talk about this week?
First of all, I want to say hello to everybody on the video podcast. Of course, there's a big hello to audio podcast, but I want to make sure we say hello to everybody. Yeah, I think if you remember, we had talked about doing a series on the art of eating healthy on a tight budget. Mm-hmm. And today this is the second episode. So I'm going to talk about, can you eat healthy? That's a big question I have been asked, I don't know, numerous times.
Yeah.
And many people have even written to us in the past. Yeah. They said that, hey, I'm training for a Spartan race or triathlon or Ironman. Yeah. I don't know how many. I mean, there's so many different popular programs.
Absolutely, there are.
And people, train for all of that. And then they say, hey, you know what? I want to do that, but it's becoming expensive.
It does. Yeah, I do one of those races myself, and it does get expensive.
Right. And they always ask me, hey, can you share something? Can you give some insight on, like, can I really eat healthy without spending too much money? And my answer is, like always, yes. Mm-hmm. The same thing happens even when people say, hey, you know what? I am dieting for weight loss, or you have many of those programs like, couch potato to 5K race, and oh gosh, there's so many, I tell you. Sometimes, mind diet, dash diet, Mediterranean diet, you name it. Mm-hmm. And I've covered many of these diets, just so you know, in my book also. Which is available on healthylifestyleformula.com. Yeah. And I've covered a good number of diets over there. And they always say, hey, you know what? I'm dieting. I should be spending less money.
Yeah. Well, you would think so.
That's right. But because you are putting so many restrictions by eating something very, very specific, then what happens is that you may be spending more money than what you should be. And information is power. Yes. And applied information is the real power. Yeah. So what I want to do here is, I want to say to everybody, no matter what your situation is, you can eat healthy stuff, even if you are on a tight budget. How does that sound?
That sounds great.
Now, like our third and fourth episode is the real one where I'm going to share how to do that. Yep. But in this episode, I wanted to give you maybe 10 tips, kind of as you can say, is kind of a starter. Yeah. And that starter is those 10 tips which anybody can do it, no matter what your situation is. Yeah. And you can do it.
Excellent.
So whether you are prepping up for a specialty fitness program or a specialty dieting program, or you just want to eat healthy and, you have that intention, but you don't have enough budget, then pay extra attention to these 10 tips. Mm-hmm. Okay? Okay. All right. Great. So tip number 1. Yeah. And it's one of the most simplest ones, but it does have so much power that not many people pay extra attention because it's so simple. Yeah. But simple is powerful. Yes. And that's where the power lies. Mm-hmm. It starts with planning everything. Yeah. So if you know what you have to eat, it's called meal planning. Yeah. Right? Yep. You can plan everything, and that makes sure that you basically buy the right type of grocery.
Yeah.
Now, when you buy the right type of grocery, you cook that at home.
Yeah.
Now, you can see the sequence over here. You're cooking at home, you're not eating outside.
Yeah.
You're buying only the kind of grocery which you need to buy.
Yeah.
So you're not, buying more than what you need to buy. You're saving money over there.
Yeah.
And you're planning your meals. Now, how do you plan your meals? This is one of the most important questions I've been asked many a times that, hey, how do I know if I'm eating healthy? And I need to answer that. I would be answering more in the coming episodes in the real terms, but I just wanted to give a flavor over here.
Yeah.
Most of the meal planning software are based on balancing things on calories.
Yeah.
Now, majority of.
Yes.
There are some which are more sleeker.
Yeah.
And they balance on carbs, proteins, calories and all of that.
Yeah.
But nothing beyond that. Why nobody goes beyond that? Because even just doing this alone is pretty expensive in terms of software development.
Yes,
But I had a desire that I want to focus balancing everything on 26 basic nutritional parameters, which means that what's essential nutrition. Now, what are those 26 essential nutrition? Maybe I'll leave this for the next episode.
Yeah.
But those are minerals, vitamins, calories, carbs, proteins, everything.
Yeah.
You count all those and it becomes 26. And it's scientifically proven that if you balance your meal on those 26 nutritions or the nutritional parameters, I should say, then that ensures that you're feeding the right stuff to your body. So we have developed a revolutionary software which I can, kind of take pride in that nobody else has it, because this is normally used by nutritionists.
Yeah.
And what we have done is we have given that power to our users.
Yeah.
So balancing meals on those 26 parameters means doesn't matter what you're eating, if you follow the rules and regulations, as per that software, and 90% of stuff software does on its own. That's the beauty.
Yeah.
It does have all kind of intelligence built in.
Yeah.
Then you are going to eat healthy. And as I gave you the earlier the basic rule, plan your meal. Then you're going to save a lot. So that's the main thing. And I think I'm going beyond what I should be going here in this episode.
Yeah.
So I'm going to leave, because I'm going to touch all that planning later on in the next episode and the next episode after that. Okay. Because if we can pay attention just to planning alone, 80% of problem is solved.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's number one. And number two is buy whole foods. So when you go to your grocery store, rather than buying the processed stuff, if you can pay attention, buy whole stuff. The whole food is much better than the processed food.
Absolutely.
And that's fresh also.
Yeah.
So why not buy some of that? And that's cheaper. My dad used to say, this is pretty, some of those kind of things stick to your brain no matter what, and then I'm talking about, like, during my childhood, this was taught to me, that if you buy anything in a season, then nature is so kind, it grows only that stuff what you need in that season. So if it's summer, the nature is going to give you only those veggies, those fruits which are designed, which you should be taking in that weather in any case, and that's cheaper because most of the farmers are growing. And so if you make sure that you eat what's seasonal, then it's going to be cheaper. And also it gives you an opportunity to support your local farmer. What else you can ask for? You're supporting your local community.
Absolutely.
And eating healthy at the same time. So that's the next one, I would say. Well, and in some cases, people say, hey, I don't have that luxury. All kind of challenges some people may have. If that's the case, buy frozen fruits,
Yeah.
frozen veggies.
Yeah.
At least that's not that much processed.
No. And in a lot of cases, they were just picked and then frozen.
Right. Absolutely. Okay, moving on to the next one, which is buy generic foods. So it's more like rather than buying the big brands,
Yeah.
if you go to any of these stores,
Yeah.
they have their no name or, kind of
Yeah.
no frills kind of a,
Yeah. Or the store brand.
or the store brands, those are much, much cheaper.
Yes, they are.
And in terms of quality, there is not a big difference. There is some difference,
Yeah.
but not too big a difference.
Yeah.
And where you are concerned about quality, that's where you can stick to your whatever brand you're using.
Yeah.
But something like if you are eating or you're buying, let's say, some kind of a bean,
Yeah.
there's hardly any major difference other than some brand might be using this size of bean or some brand might be using this size of the bean.
Yeah.
And that's it. So you're good in any of those situations,
Yeah.
buying those no-name brands.
Yeah.
The next one is, I think I already covered, but I still want to emphasize on the seasonal and local veggies and fruits.
Yeah.
It's just that it gets much, much cheaper
Yeah.
because of every farmer is growing the same stuff because nature makes it easier for them.
Yeah.
So in that case, if you buy, like you've seen, the berries, the corn,
Yeah.
some of our, like when we go and buy that stuff from the local people,
Yeah.
it's so good, number one.
Absolutely.
And number two is it makes you feel happy that you're supporting somebody.
Yeah.
And number three is that, hey, it's good stuff for your health.
Yeah.
So that's the next one. And the next item is something maybe you may know a little bit more about this than me, is buy cheaper cuts of meats.
Yeah.
I'm not the meat guy.
No.
So I can share only what I know.
Yeah.
I would say, if possible, buy some of that, like, chicken thigh or,
Yeah.
some of the brisket and,
Yeah.
those kind of things.
Yeah. Well, with cheaper cuts of meat, if it all depends on how you cook it. I mean, a good cut of meat it's always going to be a good cut of meat. You're not going to get around that. But for less expensive cuts of meat, you're going to find that if you cook them, say, in a slow cooker all day, they're going to be nice and tender, and the quality is not going to be noticeably different as if you'd bought something better but cooked it slower or cooked it faster.
But slow cooking is always better than
Yeah.
the fast cooking for your health.
Yeah.
So, hey, that's good.
Well, and in a lot of cases, red meat specifically, you need to let it rest.
Yes.
Too
Well,
much.
and red meat is not that, relatively speaking, is
Yeah.
not that healthy.
No?
No, it's relatively speaking.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'll leave that for some other time.
Okay.
Okay, because otherwise we would get digressed over here, So we'll leave it for some other time.
Okay.
The next one is pack your lunch.
Yeah.
You bring your own lunch, right?
Oh, yeah. All the time.
All the time. And number one, you're avoiding all that, sometimes the junk food, just
Yeah.
going out and eating the junk food.
Yeah.
Well, there are many ways to eat the healthy stuff outside, but think in terms of saving.
Yeah.
You're saving money. Because when you go out, no matter what, you're going to buy something else.
Yeah.
Maybe, something to drink or something, you feel like, oh, my friend is having this. Oh, I'm going to try this.
Yeah.
You're going to change your plan and spend more money than what you should.
Yeah.
And, hey, that's how you break your budget.
Yeah.
Okay? So that's the next one, I would say. After that is be a mindful shopper. And what do I mean by that is sometimes you may have seen this, that
Yeah.
there are some discount coupons, saving coupons, and even though you don't need that particular item,
Mm-hmm.
but you can save money only by buying that.
Yeah.
Guess what?
Yeah.
We're buying that item which we don't even need it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not a deal if you didn't actually need it in the first place.
Right. So when you are a mindful shopper,
Yeah.
then you're going to buy only what you need. You will stick to your grocery list.
Yeah.
And sticking to your grocery list, there's one more reminder.
Yeah.
Whenever you go out for shopping, make sure you have eaten something. You're not hungry.
Yeah.
If you're hungry, your mind is going to play tricks with you.
Yeah.
And you're going to buy more items and some other items,
Yeah.
which you don't have to even buy.
Yeah. I found for me what's helpful, especially when I'm on a really tight budget, is shopping online. A lot of the grocery stores here can offer you an option where you can pick your groceries online and then go to the store and they will just deliver it to your car.
Right.
Which I find, like I said, for me it's really helpful.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
You're not browsing the aisles. You're not looking around. You don't see the sales. You're just going, I need soup. Put in soup. I need this soup.
Mm-hmm.
I need 5 apples.
Mm-hmm.
There's no extras.
Right.
So I found that that's actually, for me anyway, super helpful.
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Thanks for sharing that.
You're welcome.
Yeah. The next one is anything which you prioritize, anything which you think, you make it happen.
Yeah.
If you have to make it happen something, then you have to think about it.
Yeah.
So if you want to eat healthy, make it happen.
Yeah.
Don't simply think. Take action. Do it. The only way to do it is that, okay, here is a big calendar in front of my computer, or here is a big kind of a reminder in my washroom, whatever works for you.
Yeah.
Do it. Put a big reminder if you have to put the reminder to 10 places, do that. A sticky is much better than not having any kind of reminder.
Yeah.
And say, I'm going to do it.
Yep.
And believe me, you're going to do it
Yep.
if you start changing over here.
Absolutely. On my own fridge, actually, I have a picture from when I weighed a lot less. And it just simply says, is there a better choice? Because, I'm going to reach into that fridge a dozen times a day to get something, to get food, to get a drink. But is there but I have to look at that every time. So it makes me stop and think, what am I getting? Is there a better option for what I'm getting? Do I really need to eat that? Could I have a glass of milk or a glass of water instead? Which, like I said, for me it works. Some people like a picture of when they were larger. I'm like, yeah, it's not going to motivate me.
Yeah.
I want to remember when I was thinner and remember that I can get back there.
Anybody can be there. They just have to do it. And you have to start. If you start doing it over here, then everything gets translated over the time.
Yeah.
Because this is controlling your actions. This is controlling the outcomes.
Yeah.
So pay attention to that.
Yeah.
Okay? Mm-hmm. This is a good one. My wife does, and you have seen this. Grow your own food.
Yes.
So she loves doing it just because she wants to have more fun in life.
Yeah.
So she does. You've seen even tomatoes nowadays. We had, I don't know.
Yeah.
She said, hey, we had 50 tomatoes, 100 tomatoes, and she's happy.
Yeah.
It makes her happy. And that's why I say, hey, honey, whatever you want to grow, keep growing.
Yeah.
Because number one, it keeps you motivated.
Yeah.
Number two, I should say, is as soon as that seed germinate, you see the life.
Yeah.
Makes you feel good. And whenever you feel good, there are good juices flowing inside your body.
Yeah.
So it's good for your health.
Yeah.
So anything like that, if you love gardening, even kitchen garden, create your own garden. Doesn't matter how many plants there are.
Yeah.
It could have just the herbs, and that's fine.
Yeah.
So have fun doing that, which brings to the last point.
Yes.
Don't make it a chore.
Yeah.
Do it for sake of having fun at the same time. When you are having fun doing something, you are, number one, you're getting more from that activity.
Yeah.
And number two is, hey, automatically that becomes kind of something which you look forward for.
Yeah.
So eating healthy can become a real hurdle for some people when they make it so onerous. When they start saying, you know what, I have to eat healthy no matter what, I have to do this. And this is what happens with most of those dieting plans.
Yeah.
You can only eat this, you can't eat this. You can only have this much, you can't. And that's why we came up with our system of healthy meal planning, which incorporates the main idea of having fun while eating healthy.
Yeah. Well, it makes a difference. As soon as you tell somebody they can't have something, that's all they want. Like, you're on a diet, you can't have chocolate bars. I'm sorry, that's not happening. Well, now all you want is chocolate bars.
Right. I agree.
Yeah.
And you're absolutely right. Actually, the craving starts immediately.
Yeah.
As soon as you say, oh, you can't have that.
Yeah.
What do you mean, I can't have it?
Yeah.
And then, your brain starts playing tricks with you. So that brings to the last one here in terms of not only having fun, that I think I'm going to cover in the next episode, which is all that healthy meal planning.
Yeah.
Like how to eat healthy in terms of how.
Yeah.
How do you make it so easy for yourself?
Yeah.
How do you make it dummy proof that you don't have to think too much? Just do it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to define in the next episode what's the meaning of healthy.
Yeah.
And I'm also going to share, in fact, the scientific meaning of eating healthy stuff.
Yeah.
And why it's important.
Mm-hmm.
And how do you make it healthy? It's how do you make it healthy is so big that I'm going to break it down into 2 episodes.
Yeah.
So the next one would be a little bit on that. And the next episode after that would be totally dedicated for making anything healthy using the system. I'm all about making it easy for ourselves. Okay?
Great.
So I'm looking forward for the next episode. And, if there's anything else you want to add.
No, I think that's everything that I have to add today.
Okay, sounds good. Then see you in the next episode.
Great. See you in the next episode. Thanks for coming, Jay.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye. Thanks for listening. We'll talk to you again next time. If you want to start your healthy lifestyle journey, don't forget to get your free ebook at healthylifestyleformula.com to start your healthy lifestyle journey in easy-to-follow steps. This podcast is brought to you by healthylifestylepodcast.com.